Hey guys, what is up? This is Matt. Today it's me once again. Welcome back to another movie review, aka After I Saw, or in this case, double movie review, aka After I Saw. First off, I'm going to be reviewing Moonfall. Now, Moonfall is directed by Roland Emmerich, who is infamous for making disaster films like 2012, Independence Day, and Independence Day Resurgence, The Day After Tomorrow, and stuff like that. And this time, this disaster is about the moon crashing into the Earth. Kind of reminds me, it's like a sci-fi version of Majora's Mask, except without the interesting characters and side quests you do. And but yeah, it stars Halle Berry, Patrick Wilson, Michael Pena, and all these big name actors, and they're good in the movie. But one thing to expect from most disaster films is not many interesting characters. Okay, the first half of this movie was very boring. The first hour of this movie, like, nothing really happens. Patrick Wilson's character's son goes to jail for something, nothing big, but stuff like that, and it tries to get you to care about these characters. Well, I like Patrick Wilson a lot in films like The Conjuring universe and Insidious and other films, but he was also in his last film, Midway. But here, it's just the characters. I didn't expect great characters here, and you should not expect that here at all. But when it does get to the second half, it's definitely a lot better than the first half. But at the same time, I didn't really feel like this movie was just so ridiculously fun. In fact, it's one that's very forgettable, in my opinion. I mean, it's visually striking and stuff, and if you expect ridiculous stuff going on, a ridiculous disaster film, you are going to get that. It's definitely to be expected here, but at the same time, I don't really feel like it's super ridiculous enough to rewatch it. Like, it's not popcorn fun, as much popcorn fun as Independence Day, because easily that's his best film. The sequel was garbage, okay? But, well, I definitely think this is better than that film. Right here, I just found this to be very forgettable and pretty predictable at some parts. When it closed, I was all like, there's a question someone asks, and apparently it just cuts to black. Yeah, if I go into more of that, spoiler territory, but I saw this in IMAX, and it looked great in IMAX. And there is some humor, some one-liners here, and they're pretty funny. But at the same time, the movie was just felt pretty boring and pretty slow. It's not very well paced, but it is ridiculous, and it doesn't fully take itself too seriously when it gets to, like, the big moon, space sequence or whatever. But I just found it to be kind of forgettable. It's not a terrible movie by any means necessary, but if you expect another crazy Roland Emmerich disaster film, you're probably going to get that here. But since I'm not really the biggest fan of his movies, I can't really see myself rewatching this. I don't rewatch any of his other films. His most rewatchable is definitely Independence Day. But this right here, I thought was pretty forgettable. Alright, next movie I'm going to talk about is Jackass Forever. Now, if you're familiar with the Jackass movies, I haven't seen them before, but I watched them just before I saw this movie. I don't really feel like it's necessary because it's not really building up to anything. Jackass is not known for a story at all because it's not fictional. It's actually real-life stuff going on in ridiculous ways. So, Jackass needs no introduction. It's about, of course, Johnny Knoxville and his crew, Steve-O, doing ridiculous stunts on camera, trying its very hardest to make you laugh. And surprisingly, it works, okay? Now, when it comes to comedy sequels, most of them do not hold a candle to the original, but I thought all the sequels to the first Jackass were better than the first Jackass, and this, I thought, was easily the best out of all of them, okay? I mean, the ridiculous stunts and the fact that they actually do get injured on screen, you gotta feel bad for these people, okay? You have to. I mean, I felt really bad what was going on with these guys. I really hope they were safe. And the movie shows stuff that you should never do in real life. And instead of just doing it, you should definitely watch it. And I recommend watching this if you expect crazy stunts on camera. And yeah, it's amazing how these guys actually managed to pull it off. Okay, and these movies are raunchy. They are gross out. This is probably the grossest one, and sometimes can be a little bit hard to watch. Like, there are times where I thought it was easier for me to watch some certain saw traps than stuff that goes on, because there are sequences in these movies that just, like, that made me want to hold my stomach and not make me want to eat my popcorn anymore. But I think because they're actually doing it in real life, it's just like, honestly, I hope it's not real, like certain stuff, but probably is, because yeah, it's amazing how these guys actually managed to survive, because there are times where stuff in this movie people could not have survived. But yeah, but I guess with issues, I do have some of them. Like, I don't really like how the Jackass movies end just super abruptly, but at the same time, you really shouldn't care, because it's not really there to tell a story. It's just there to pull a bunch of stunts on camera and try to make you laugh your ass off. And I did laugh my ass off. It was a very pleasant surprise for me. If you're a massive fan of these movies, then I think you're going to be more than satisfied with this one. A lot of critics were really praising this movie. IGN gave it a 9, which is really surprising. So Licorice Pizza is a 6, but this movie's a 9. I don't know. It's certainly no masterpiece by any means necessary. It's just a fun, ridiculous time at the movies, and I had a really fun time with it. Alright, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna head off to work. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Death in the Nile is coming out. I'm really looking forward to that. I might see Marry Me as well. I'm not entirely sure. Death on the Nile I'm gonna see with my mom. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Ward out.